Hey everyone, before I get started, I have started a YouTube channel, and I've had a YouTube channel for years and years, but I've never really done a YouTube channel. So I've essentially started from scratch. I've thrown away all my old subscribers and started totally over. So if you want to subscribe, it's obviously free, and it's just going to be like technical analysis videos and such. Just go ahead and click on the subscribe link, and away you go. For those of you who subscribed on the old one, well, resubscribe. This is the new one. Anyway, just one index I wanted to show you, and then I'll dive into some other stuff. The Russell 2000 this week has broken its long-term trend line. Please put those words in boldface, outline, underline, 72-point type. It has not broken this line ever, ever, ever since its formation at the March 2009 bottom. And this is the line I'm talking about. And it did something extra spiffy today in that it just eased barely below this other trend line. So we can see here that yesterday it broke this trend line, and then today it broke this lower trend line here. This one's the big deal. This is just kind of icing on the cake. I would also point out, very importantly, that the relentless uptrend, which terminated on July 1, pooped out, because as you can see here, the top made on March 4 was, for all intents and purposes, identical to the top made on July 1. The top here was 1213.55. The top here was 1212.82. A tiny fraction of a single percentage point, effectively a double top. And so for all year long, sorry about the idiotic noise you hear in the background, just got the window open. And so we've just been meandering along, but this is starting to break down. Now I have 127 short positions and 3 longs. The longs are not equities, they're ETFs. But what I wanted to do, probably at warp speed, because I know you probably have other things to do, is just show my latest, the contents of my options portfolio. That is the underlying symbols. And these aren't necessarily the very, very, very best shorts I've got, because sometimes an excellent short chart may not have a good option behind it. But these are my options nonetheless. These are all puts with one exception. We're just going to buzz through these. Aetna, AET, based on the Fibonacci fans you see here. Alaska Airlines, ALK. Looking for a trip down to this supporting trend line. This is a new one, COG, Cabot Oil and Gas. Head and Shoulders could be really glorious if we break that neckline more firmly. EMN, Eastman Chemical. Break of this multi-year trend line. Big gap down, beginning to fall away from this lower horizontal. Now I'm just going to I'm going to jump over my one call. I'll get to that at the end. Gulfport, GPOR, another head and shoulders pattern. And I'll just pause here by saying, look, I said this before, but I'll say it again. I can't remember a time I've seen so many amazing short setups. This is like, I know the past 4 years have been disappointing. I know there have been a lot of hard roads traveled, but I've never seen so many short setups. It's like a bear's paradise. I'm just in awe of all the short setups. It's I'm like a kid in a candy shop. Goodyear Tire, GT. Got a beautiful topping pattern on this one, although not a particularly huge one. Hog, HOG, Harley Davidson. And here's the head and shoulders information on this. Hasn't quite completed yet, and also break of a big trend line. Hershey's, you know about this one, I think, HSY. This has been very slow moving, but I believe in you, Kyle. J&J, Johnson & Johnson. This one's been very powerful, but we've got this broadening pattern right here, and I'm banking on at least a relaxation into the lower triple digits here. PH, this is Parker Hannifin. We've got a break of this multi-year trend line and moving away from this horizontal. ROK, Rockwell Automation. break of this long-term trend line, and another hard gap down and moving away from that horizontal. Rotten, RT and Raytheon. This is a Fibonacci fan play here. Very clean one too. RYL, Ryland. Here's a home builder's play. Let's toss down a horizontal here to track the lower portion of this range like so. ULTI, you ain't got no alibi. This is Ultimate Software, break of a long-term trend line, same deal, just again and again and again. So many of these are similar. And then UTX, United Technologies, another Fibonacci fan line play, plus this lovely little rounding top right here. You know what, it occurs to me, if I weren't me, I sure would be glad if there were a me out there. In other words, if you are of a bearish disposition, if you like short setups, I cannot think of any place better than Slope to go for stuff like this. So, you know, Tim, I'm glad you're here, but I'm Tim, so I'll just be glad for that. Sounds very egotistical, but my point is that if it weren't for Slope, there's really no other good place to go for stuff like this. So, hurrah for Slope. Now, the one call, GDX. Now, this is insane, and it's crazy, and it's stupid, because gold is trash, right? Silver is garbage, precious metals are junk. You can go to the esteemed people at MarketWatch, and, you know, they'll tell you that, you know, the bull market's totally over, blah da 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 da. Well, I'm a contrarian at heart, and, you know, 1, 2, 3, and now 4 times miners have been battered to this $22 level, and with the exception of the year changeover here, they have tended to find this area to be reasonable support. I am banking on it to do so again. You know, and I'll just close by saying this, my general theme in my trading is that in the coming weeks, the dollar is going to weaken, gold, silver, miners, oil are going to strengthen, equities are going to weaken. That's the entire theme. And so I'm basing the trades on that. And so those are my options. 15 puts, 1 call. And we'll see if things continue to unfold. Because since Friday, which was the highest point in the Dow Jones in human history, it's been quite interesting. And I hope it stays interesting. So that'll be it from me. I'll see you on Wednesday.